Hey YouTube, welcome. So in today's video, we'll be having a top-down analysis on the GBPUSD, the EURUSD, the XAUUSD, and then the dollar index. Okay. So on the dollar index as a DXY. Okay. So we're having a top-down analysis on the dollar index. So on the daily time frame, you can see on the daily time frame that we're having a break of structure to the upside here. Okay. We're having break of structures to the upside. But when we look deep, you can see that market mitigated this fair value gap, okay, completely, okay, with this week mitigating this week, okay. It failed this completely, and then we are trying to push upside, okay. So we having this as our high to break, but the recent two candles, you can see that we swept this low, and then we reversed and closed bullish here, okay. So after closing bullish on this candlestick, we can then see that we will be then having an upside push to break this high. All right. So after breaking this low, we go down to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, let me redo this. Okay. So on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we had a break of structure to the upside here. It's a minor break of structure. We swept this low here as a liquidity. Price didn't mitigate this other block here, but it mitigated this daily fair value gap. All right. So after that, after this break of structure, minor break of structure, sweep, mitigation of the fair value gap on a daily time frame, and then we are trying to then push upside to break this high for a 4-hour break of structure to the upside. Okay. So this daily sweep here, this daily sweep here, okay, on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that. Let's go down to the daily time frame. Okay. On this sweep here, on the 4-hour time frame, you can see on the 4-hour time frame that price filled this other block, and then we are trying to break this high for a pullback, then we buy it to the upside. Okay. So when you go down to the 30 minutes time frame, you can see on the 30 minutes time frame, this sweep was a very good break of structure to the downside here. All right, we had this break of structure to the upside, change of character, break of structure to the upside, and this other block has failed, and we don't have any other block again on this 30 minutes range here. All right, so this is the range on the 30 minutes time frame. This is the last other block here that caused this break of structure to the downside. Price then came down, couldn't break with this impulsive move here, okay, and then retraced to then break with this impulsive move here. All right, so we don't have any other block here within this range, and this has failed. We will be expecting price to break this high to mitigate this other block or this other block to then buy to the upside. So that's my narrative for the DXY. So as of now, we've had this failure here. Okay, so this other block has failed. All right, so even if price is to come down to mitigate this other block, we'll be looking to buy from this other block here. Okay, so you have one other block here and then two. Okay, so this other block has failed, and within this price leg, this is our liquidity low. So we'll be looking for price to sweep this low and then give a lower time frame shift to then buy to the upside, or sweep this low, mitigate this other block, and then give a lower time frame shift to then buy to the upside. So that's my narrative on the DXY. All right. So on the EURUSD, you can see on the EURUSD, we're having this break of structure to the downside, recent break of structure on the daily time frame. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we're having that break of structure to the downside. But when you look at the candlesticks here, you can see that we swept this high and then reversed deeply to the downside here. Okay, so after that sweep, we had this buy side liquidity here, but price decided to purge this equal highs here. 1, 2 equal highs. Okay, so after purging that equal highs here, price didn't take this buy side liquidity, but is deciding to reverse to this downside to take these liquidities to the downside. Okay, so after this reversal, we go down to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that on the 4-hour time frame, we swept this high here and then we reversed to break this low. So this is a candle closure here. Okay, on the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, we have a closure here and then we swept on the daily time frame. So on the 30 minutes time frame, you can see on the 30 minutes time frame, we had this as a structure, break of structure to the downside. This was a 15 minutes break, but the 30 minutes break was here. All right. So this is a break of structure to the upside, the recent break of structure. We've closed below this for a change of character to the downside. All right. So after that change of character to the downside, we will take this as a liquidity high, this as a liquidity high, this as a liquidity high, this, and then this as a liquidity highs. All right. So we'll be waiting for price to return to this other block here after sweeping this high, and then sweep this high to for a change of character to the downside on a later time frame, and then we sell to the downside. All right. So the DXY is bullish. The euro is bearish. All right. So we have this other block here, this other block here, and then we'll be waiting for price to either sweep these highs and then mitigate this or this other block. We would look for a lower time frame shift and then we sell to the downside. So that's my narrative for the EURUSD. So on the DXY, on the daily time frame, you can see that on the daily time frame, we are bullish on the daily time frame. So this is our recent break of structure or change of character to the upside on the daily time frame. Okay. So price mitigated this other block, attempted a break to the upside, failed upon mitigating this supply zone, and then we are heading bearish to the downside. So after that, bearish to the downside, price decided to move upside, mitigating this supply zone, and then giving a bearish reaction to the downside. So we have this unmitigated daily zones here, which is our point of interest. So after price mitigating this unmitigating unmitigated supply zone, we'll be waiting for a lower time frame shift to then buy to the upside. You can see we have this equal highs here or descending trend line here. We have this other block here. So if price decides to then sweep this high, mitigate this other block, we'll be looking for a lower time frame on the 50 minutes or the 1 hour time frame to then shift to the downside. Okay. So after mitigating this other block here, okay, you can see price sweeping this high and then reversing sharply to the downside. So DXY is bullish, euro is bearish, and then the GBP, we are now assessing it to be bearish. Okay, so after that bearish move on the 4-hour time frame, you can see on the 4-hour time frame, price mitigating this other block here. Okay, and then we have a fractal change of character to the downside. So this is the low that caused this break of structure to the upside. So this low has been broken. All right. So if we then go up to mitigate a deep supply zone on the 15 minutes or the 30 minutes time frame, we'll be looking for a sell to the downside to mitigate this other block here and this unfilled fair value gap. All right. So if you close below this low, that will be a plus for us. All right. So on the 30 minutes time frame, you can see on the 30 minutes time frame, we had this break of structure to the upside in the daily point of interest. Okay. So after that break of structure to the upside, price mitigated this other block and then attempted to then move bullish to the upside, but reversed sharply to the downside. Okay. So after that mitigation, this was the 4-hour break here. Okay. Fractal 4-hour break. So we'll be waiting for this other block here to fail. Okay. Because we want to sell, but this is the opposing other block here. So we're waiting for this to fail and then price mitigating this other supply zone or this supply zone to then sell to the downside. So that's my narrative for the GBP USD. So on the XAE USD, which is good, okay. So on the daily time frame on gold, you can see that this was our last break of structure to the down upside. Okay, on the daily time frame, this is my high, this is my low. So on the daily time frame, we are bullish structurally on the daily time frame. Okay, but on the fractal frame here, you can see that we had this break of structure to the upside, this break here, and then so fractal break of structures, we are bullish. So also on the daily time frame. Okay, so fractally we are bullish, structurally we are bullish, and this other block here is causing price to then sell to the downside. All right. So as you can see, after mitigating this other block, we swept this high and then price is moving heavily to the downside. So our narrative is we'll be looking for sales. All right. But as you can see on this candlesticks here, after sweeping this high, price decided to come for this low here and then the previous candle low and previous daily low. But price couldn't reverse and then we closed inside this candlestick. So we are having no bias on the daily time frame. Okay. So on the 30 minutes time frame, you can see that we had this break of structure to downside, this break of structure to the downside. Okay, you had this imbalance here. So price mitigating this other block here. Okay. On the 1 hour time frame, you can see the price mitigating this other block here on the 1 hour time frame. We then had a fractal shift here. Okay. So we closed this low here with the candle close. Alright. So after closing that low, price then mitigating this other block here. So this could have been a sell with our stop loss above here, and I'll take profit on this zone. So this or 1 to 3 risk reward could have been the ideal scenario here. All right, but price couldn't break this low here, and instead tried reversing here to either mitigate this other block or this other block, and then we sell to the downside. But on the daily time frame, you can see on the daily time frame here. Sorry. You can see on the daily time frame here, price swept this high, tried close below here, and then tried to then take this low, but it couldn't. Okay, this was the lowest point price made, and then we are stuck between the previous candles here. So I'll rule this out, and I'll not take a trade on XAUSD.